So you're
Sir?
natural.
Go ahead.
I was told I was just a natural right now, so you know how it makes me feel, you know.
For the love of you don't understand. You know. There's things that. Well, I'm not gonna get into that. This is getting to his head. This is literally getting to his head.
We get people on the streets that tell us, can we get pictures with you guys?
No, that's not me. I mean,
you don't take pictures with
No.
anybody else?
A mí me pedían pictures antes del podcast.
Antes.
Sí, así que yo no sé.
I won't even ask you about that.
But anyway, kick us off, my sir.
Sir, so
who do we have here today?
We have Millie Sanchez.
Beautiful Millie Sanchez.
From Slam.
Oh.
Welcome, Millie.
I hear I'm your 130th.
130.
Yeah, I think so. It's like 130th episode.
Yeah.
I was looking at it this
So
morning.
we'll in honor of Slam, we'll slam a tequila shot.
Oh, I like this group. Shouldn't say that, but I like that. That's a slam dunk, right?
Listen, we start some of these podcasts. You know, sometimes I don't know why it happens, but some people when they get in the chair, they're talking. But then when our spectacular producer back there, Justin, all of a sudden says, "Okay, count us down, 3, 2, 1." Everybody goes,
Yeah, we've had.
So you have to
freeze up.
You have to give them.
Yeah, we have been looking.
And sometimes,
Esto es agua, ¿no?
sí, eso es agua. Bueno,
just to confirm.
you know, we had a guest yesterday. I'm not gonna say who, but you know, he had his little coffee cup full of wine.
Yeah,
and I'm like saying,
that was first.
And I was really wine at this time. Is it?
You know,
is it? Do you need an ice?
And I didn't know that he was nervous. I thought at the moment, I'm like, man, this guy must be really dealing with some shit, you know?
I know.
Because he's drinking wine in the morning, you know?
But sometimes that happens. But with us, you know, it was hard always to shut me up any which way. Now, you know,
now we get it on video.
Now the host. I'm the co-host.
The host with the most.
The host is, you know, now he's in that stage. But listen, today's I think we always say it's a great podcast, but we try to bring the best podcast to view. But I think that this is such a special podcast because of the history involved in here. And I want you to tell the story, but I mean, a lot of controversy going on with that right now. Mm-hmm. But anything that goes on in the city of Miami, I feel is always controversy. And even though they're all my friends out there, but, you know, sometimes they're just, I don't know. I mean, it's just something about the chair. Okay, you know, it's like, you know, te revuelve el alma, you know. Like,
passion, 305.
Oh, fight. But anyway.
No bueno.
But I think that you should give us a little brief of what is going on with the Olympia Theater. And yeah.
Prior to that, introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce yourself, of course. I mean, just because we know you doesn't.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. My name is Millie Sanchez. As you said, I am the Chief Administrative Officer for the SLAM Foundation and the SLAM Network of Schools. So, you know, you guys are invited to come do a podcast there. But for people who don't know,
we love it.
SLAM actually stands for Sports Leadership Arts Management.
I had no idea.
We have arts in our name también, so we'll get to that. But we started in Little Havana back in 2012. We opened a campus there along with Marlins Park. And, you know, thanks to Pitbull, Mr. 305.
Yes.
It was, he had a vision for building, you know, a school in one of his old neighborhoods. Okay. And actually, he went to Coral Park.
Yes, he did. Yes,
I saw he went to Braddock.
He went to a lot of schools, and he'll tell you that.
Braddock claimed him.
No.
Everybody claimed him, but you know what? But now Slam claims him because he definitely.
That's when, you know, Coral Park even claimed Canseco, but now I don't know about that. But anyway.
But. You know, so we opened SLAM, which is a career academy model, and this program is to inspire kids in that neighborhood in Little Havana, and now we're all over the nation, but really to inspire them to, you know, take what you love, take the passion that you have, whether it be sports or arts or what have you, and let's show you these careers behind these sports. So it was really fitting because Marlins Park was opening. We have a partnership with the Marlins. Our students on opening day got to shadow executives in the management of a park when they played the Yankees that opening day. So, you know, we opened our flagship school in Little Havana in 2012. It's been over a decade, and we've been very, very successful with, you know, creating that pipeline of students that are going into, whether it's the sports industry. We have students at ESPN because of our XM radio. So that's kind of, you know, where we started with the program.
Wait. So students went to ESPN via your
they've gone to 2 Super Bowls. They've been on Radio Row. They've covered, you know, I was kind of upset because they got to meet Tom. I call him Tom. He doesn't know this, but Tom Brady. They got to meet Tom in person and
Well,
interview
you know
him.
he's single, but that's the point.
No, apparently now we don't want to back here, but he's with like some like 21-year-old like sports illustrated model now. They saw him at
I
Jeff
mean, he's
Bezos'
the
wedding
GOAT,
in
guys.
Venice.
Oh, you saw him at? Were you at
No,
Jeff Bezos?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh,
They-
no, okay, you're talking. I saw him at Jeff Bezos'
no,
wedding, like
they saw him.
very
No.
nonchalantly, like you were at Jeff Bezos.
He's the GOAT. We're trying to get him over at Slam Radio to come by, but
That would be awesome.
you know, our students got to interview Gronk. They got to be on Good Morning America and many shows, and so that's why I'm inviting you guys to come do.
No,
They'll give you a run for your money.
I see the future already here. We'll hit there and we'll go to Good Morning America.
I love it.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Of course. No,
I love
yeah, he'll be there with a smile, like, ready to go. Ready to
He
go.
has the
ready to
smile,
go.
though. I do have to
Ready-
say,
no,
he has the
yeah,
smile.
That's what that But
Yeah, is it?
Sorry, so keep going.
So
This
you
is
know,
like this. We have major ADD.
no. I work with students. Don't worry.
Okay. Well,
We do.
we are children, by the way.
I work with children.
and
We're
students
good. We're good.
life students.
This is why we drink a lot of Cuban coffee.
So, speaking of Pitt, Armando was an artist who really, he came back to build a school because a teacher changed his life. And I don't know if you guys, whenever you hear him get an award, he gives his shout out to Hope Martinez, who was the teacher who gave him his first chance, and told him and believed in him and told him, you're going to make something out of yourself. And so having done that, now he's giving back to the community. And that's how Slam got started. And that's kind of how we got to the Olympia piece. It was actually the Gusmans. The Gusman family reached out. And, a lot of people out there are saying,
Wasn't it called once the Gusman Hall?
it was the Gusman Performing Arts, the Gusman Center for the Performing Arts.
Some people that go way back,
Yeah.
like my age,
It's actually known as the Gusman.
it was always known also as the Gusman.
Yes.
So there's a separation there. So now you guys have that organization, Slam.
Yes.
It makes sense for you guys to, partner up with the Olympic Theater.
So basically, yeah, I mean, Slam is a nonprofit organization. We do a lot of impact work in the community.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, generational. We work with different groups in the community to expose not just our students, but to, create this pipeline, for them to come back and be part of what's going on in our city. And so when the Gusmans reached out, they were looking for a solution. I mean, over the years, if you know the history of the Olympia Theater, over the years, the property has kind of gone into disarray. And there's been several attempts. I think in 2011, there was an attempt to do an RFP so that somebody, the city put it out to see who would be able to kind of take care of the property.
Okay, but before you continue, so our viewers can understand this. For the people that don't understand, the Gusman is in that area, which is in downtown Miami, in
Flagler,
which is that spectacular corner building. And for the people again from my generation that know, you used to have the Miami Film Festival there.
Exactly.
My daughter had recitals there for dancing and all that stuff.
New Old had their graduations. I think
100%.
Johnny Cash performed there. I saw a poster not too long ago that said the Gusman Center.
What happened in that moment? Because you're talking about now we're going straight to something with an RFP with the city. Who was that? Who owned that? That was owned by
the Gusman
Gusman
family. Yes.
Okay.
So Maurice Gusman, he basically gave the theater.
Okay.
Gave the theater to the people, to the residents to the city.
Okay.
With the intent.
Right.
With the intent that it would be used for the public.
Gotcha.
That would be a cultural, an educational hub for civic use. And that's what he, envisioned. And the only thing that, was required in that, it was deeded over to the city of Miami with certain conditions. And those conditions were to preserve it and to make it a space for public use, to promote the arts. And that's why it was named the Gusman Center for the Performing Arts. Right. And then for many years, and you look very young, so I don't know that you were there, but Elvis performed in the 50s.
No, I wasn't there yet.
You weren't there yet.
Yeah, no.
He's using a lot of
I wasn't even born.
That's
so I'm just
creams I'm using.
want to make that clear. I know
soon.
I know of this, but I wasn't born yet. Just want to kind of make that.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm curious because I like to take people through this, through this mission. So the city takes over, and then throughout all these years, because I remember they that place closed down, because I would always say, why are we not doing this back
at the Olympia,
the Olympia,
back at the Olympia, because the film festival, the different events that would go on, Miami did, obviously.
I complained to my daughter's recital school, and now they throw me all the way to I don't know where, and I go, why don't we do it? No, that place is closed. How long has that been closed?
So they actually did a Van Gogh exhibit a few months ago, but it was very limited because the issue has been since 2017. The city actually issued a repair or demolish order on the building because they haven't been able to pass the 40-year certification. Okay, so that's the issue.
So they have demolish a property that's theirs, basically.
It's a property that
because they gave it to them.
Exactly.
Right.
It was deeded to the city to again with this conveyance of to make it for public use and to protect the asset. Now, it's important to note that this is a national historic landmark. It's a state historic landmark, but that means that the architecture of that building needs to be preserved in the same fashion that it was. And so the city was actually, there are plans in the city of Miami that went through permitting. An architect here in Coral Gables, he's very well known for preserving historic buildings, Richard Heisenbottle.
Oh, sure.
So Richard had been working with the city in terms of what needed to be done. Not just, there's the 40-year certification, which is costly, and then there is the preservation, making sure that you're preserving it to the level, right, of a historic landmark, which, so they've been working out. The plans were actually in the city and going through permitting throughout this process when that order, the order of demolish and repair, because again, it keeps going into disarray. Money hasn't been put into preserving the building. And at this point, I mean, we had a public meeting there not too long ago. There's no AC, there's no HVAC. It's really not operational in the sense of being able to have 1,700 people there right now. You need to fix the first thing.
I just can't conceive how a place that was given something are the ones that they're supposed to preserve it are the same people that are putting now a demolish order on.
And so the issue becomes the Gusmans felt the same way. And I imagine that's when the family reached out to us. The grandson, the oldest grandson that now represents the family of the Gusman Foundation and the Gusman family, reached out and said, you guys do this work in the community. They were looking for a solution because they're actually in litigation. They sued. I think they've been going for 6 years now in litigation with the city because they sued them. They sued the city saying, you violated the original deed, the terms of that deed in protecting this asset. So now, we're going to sue you and get it back. And so that litigation has been going on for 6 years. So again, we have not been, in that mix, but, they approached us. So the Gusmans approached us as, they visited our school, they visited SLAM, and they loved what we do, what we're doing in the community and what we do. And they said, this is the vision that our grandfather had, that Maurice Gusman had about being able to have a space where you're giving back to the community, you're using it as this civic, but it's an educational hub as well, where now you can create a pipeline of future generations, because we're not going to be around for 100 years.
Right. Well,
the building is almost 100 years, but the idea that there could be this pipeline of this future generation that's going to help continue that legacy.
So the Gusmans voluntarily reached out to you, are organizing for you to take over the property in order for you guys to rehab it and bring it back to being getting to use.
So they felt that if we were able to kind of help or come up with a plan that would help solve that litigation. And so, we proposed that to the city. The Gusmans proposed it. And so that's how kind of this whole thing got started.
And it's interesting to see how social media always, you always see things out there. And I was telling you guys earlier, what I had heard or the public noise is that the city is selling the building to you guys for $10.
Can you imagine that?
That you guys are going to take over, and that you guys wanted to do like a development there that ends up being for like luxury homes or apartments and things along those lines. So that's not the case.
No, because, this is what's interesting. So what's interesting is all the proposals in the past and the RFPs have been for luxury hotels and things like that. And why? And it's important to note, the people that haven't been to the theater, it's not just the theater. There's a theater, and then there's a 10-story building that actually connects. Yeah. So the property is one entire property. You can't have one without the other. Correct. And so the challenge over the years, I think, for people have been, what do you do with that property? Right? Because the idea is if the property can energize and help fund what's happening at the theater, you can run in the black and you can maintain. And, and what people don't understand is it's not just fixing a theater, which, by the way, that $10, it's going to cost about $50 million. That's the range of to get the 40-year certification, get the building to pass that for just even the HVAC system and repair. Then you're talking about the restoration, the historic restoration according to the plans that are the original plan.
Short on 50 million.
Bueno, that's not like a minimum is 50. So I find the $10 really funny, right?
Yeah.
But once you do that, people haven't been able to figure out what do you do with this 10-story building. So there's been talk about, let's turn it into a hotel and then the hotel. But, a hotel is not civic use. It's not bringing anything to the community because at the end of the day, I'm all about people coming to Miami. But what do tourists do? They come and they go.
Yeah.
So it's really not going to create any kind of synergy. So what we proposed to the Gusmans was like, look, there's a 10-story building. We could build an educational hub. And the idea would be have this, secondary program in collaboration and partnership with Miami-Dade College. So we can bring back the film festival. We can have their students, they will do the dual enrollment for film and art and music programs for students to have these careers in the arts and be housed in the adjacent building. So if we energize that and function as a school, then the theater, we commit to restoring the theater and have it open to the public. Mm-hmm. But now you're managing a theater. It's open to the public. There will be concerts, the film festival, all these great events that we all remember. But now you have students that can intern and students that can help, understand, even take courses about the history of preserving a historic landmark.
So those that 10-story would become classes
for arts focus
okay.
film students.
Yeah.
And then again, because of the proximity to Miami-Dade, who's a partner in this initiative, students can walk from the dual enrollment, and we have
right there,
exactly. And then the graduations and the things that you remember, the ballet recitals, people can rent the venue, and the idea is that then that's the way to kind of preserve the theater, keep it open for public use, which was the intended idea.
Okay.
And so the Gusmans love that because they saw that vision that it's not just preserving something, because one thing is preserving it. How do you make sure it withstands another 100 years? And for us, education is key to that.
So then basically this is what you guys are proposing to the city.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that now where does the city stand on this proposal?
So to make sure that, number one, that the public was kind of aware and the misconception that this isn't being given away, as many people were saying, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's being given away for $15 million. Right. And so one of the things that we're proposing is we're not asking as an entity, this collaboration of nonprofits that's working on this, we're not asking for any taxpayers to pay additional taxes for this, which is what it would take. Realistically, that's what it would take if the city kept the property.
Right.
And if they kept the property and didn't do anything, the Gusmans were going to win the lawsuit. And then nobody gets it. And they were very open about that. So we're kind of that middle ground where they're saying we can solve the litigation if the property is conveyed. And so what I mean by conveyed, it's a deed that comes in the same way that it was conveyed to the city in the first place. A deed that comes with conditions.
And the city cannot claw it back after you fix it or nothing like that?
The city does have the conditions of the deed is if we don't do our job in terms of restoring the property, making it available to the public for at minimum, in that clause we have, the contract will have at least 180 days of public use. That means we want to use it 365 days. But the idea is that public use can
So they have that clause that they can take it back if you guys
They can take it back if they don't do it. But
this from the people that have had it and haven't done anything and put an order to demolish it.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So you guys...
It's always fun in the city.
Here we go again. The things that make you go...
I mean, listen.
I don't understand that.
Somebody commented...
In Spanish, that's called se cae de la mata.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Somebody commented the other day on the pod saying, I love what you guys do, that you are pulling back the curtains on how things actually work in the city. And then
well, literally, there's a current here in the Olympia Theater.
Oh, there's a current. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
literally.
So it's like, so then you told me.
Well, the show will go on if we're going to go.
No. You just...
And I want to clarify that. That's our goal, that the show goes on at the Olympia.
So then they had a vote in the commission?
So the commission, we held some public meetings for the public. Commissioner Pardo, I live in that district. I can walk there, so it's wonderful to see that we're able to help re-energize that downtown area.
Downtown is great.
But Commissioner Pardo sponsored meetings because it's in his district. We did public meetings so that we would get the information out to the public. And I kept saying, no one wants to tear down the theater. It's the opposite.
Correct.
We had the attorney for the Gusman family was there and spoke in favor of our proposal. And so we gave all this information out to the public before the actual city commission meeting, which took place last Thursday. Mm-hmm. At that meeting, the commission then voted to allow the city manager to move forward with a potential contract with us. So the next step would be we are working through the terms of what that would look like.
Vote, by the way?
It was unanimous.
Wow.
It was unanimous. 5-0. Hey, so it was,
That's another historic moment.
That was historic, right? It was.
He's on fire today. I like
I
like it.
Hey, so I'd like to think of it. I'd like to think of it. If there's one thing they can agree on is that that Slam would be a good steward for this.
So then what's the next step?
So the next step is in September, we go back to the city commission with, again, doing all the things that needed to be done. The commissioners asked for certain information, like there's going to be traffic studies, there are going to be different things that we have to, a programming plan for what the theater would look like for the public, different things that we bring along with that contract, and then they vote on the contract. And then at that point, the goal is to get the work started right away. At that point, if that goes through, then SLAM would start working on getting the 40-year recertification up and running and working on putting together, a team to experts, right? Yeah. Our goal is not to, and again, there's this misconception like, what does the school know about running a theater? I kind of beg to differ because we run a radio station. Right.
School.
But we have experts. We run...
we had another school of arts in downtown.
The New World School. Well, New World is actually on the 5th floor of the Wolfson campus, and actually we're a partner in that with Miami-Dade. So our goal is to have the New World graduations there to work with the students.
The amount of people. Listen, I know a lot of. We have a lot of friends that their kids go to the New World.
Yeah, it's an amazing program. It's an amazing program. So this is a great way for everybody to kind of work together as a community and get again, the Olympia up and running, but what a great way to have these kids that graduate and come back and work here and perform here.
I was curious. So,
like it did.
Well, the next step now is then?
The next step is the next city meeting, which would be for the contract. And then after that, we would continue working with the plans that are already in the city to make sure that the architecture, to make sure that the building is going to be refurbished and in the same way, the right way.
And I think,
and obviously, let me just clarify: the litigation with the Gusmans in the city that has to be settled before, obviously, we can kind of move forward.
So, when you had the public hearing, I'm curious to know. What were like the most common complaints then?
It was interesting.
It's hard for me to see how this is.
Well, but I think what the complaints were that they think that they were going to take down the theater.
Yes, I think.
Other than that was typical.
It was interesting. A lot of people came out to just voice, obviously, and it wasn't with us. It was just kind of the voice,
Usual suspects that are tired of the city.
Exactly.
They come out there just to scream at them and say everything else that.
Yeah, so we were like in the crossfires, but
they
were definitely very educational meetings. But I think that the typical was that, or the misconception that we're going to tear it down and build a school, and that's not. Again, there is a school in the adjacent building, and the theater will be part. But the idea that now these two things can work together, the building and the theater can work cohesively, and now you're creating a pipeline.
Who would be then opposed of, because it would be the theater, but then the building next to it would be also, as you said, the school, tied to the theater.
Yes.
Now, I just don't see who could be them, because then what's the next best thing, which is what everybody else has been complaining about. Oh, tear it down and then put another high rise or put a hotel.
Or hotel. I think the people that came out with the people upset that they wanted
are people that are some other people that are trying to lobby the situation that get rid of the whole thing, and I want to put a X amount of building, developers, which again, I'm pro development out there. Don't scream at me.
I think,
but in the right places.
And we kept saying the outcome is this. The outcome that everybody wants, which was saving the Olympia, is the same. That is our goal, and that is the outcome of this. And that's what the Gusmans. We're basically keeping that vision, and that's
And I mean, this may be a stupid question, but
there are never any stupid questions.
Why? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think it is a stupid question. Why did it take like 20 years for it to get to this point? Like, what could have hampered the city so much that they didn't do what they were supposed to do?
And I can't.
I want to reserve my time for that question, for that answer.
I can't speak. I'm the resident, right?
I'm asking him.
But I'm going to say this. I can't speak for the city, but I will say what the city manager and what they reiterated. Over the years, the city has had other priorities. And when you think about it, right, some of the things mentioned, the priorities have been public safety, dealing with, I know the firehouses, and there's just different other things that have taken priority. As a resident, when I look at it, obviously we're all about restoring cultural, historic landmarks and like you said, cultural events in our city. But do I want to pay as a taxpayer more money so that, so I think a little bit of it, the city is in the business of running a city. Yeah. Maybe not running a theater. Yeah. If the goal is to have a space where, again, this is used by the residents of Miami, that's what we're bringing to the table. So I think everybody wins in that scenario.
We have the fountain,
Yeah.
Which is, I think, super nice. But since I grew up, I never saw a fountain operating. I just thought that it was nice to rehab the theater too.
Again, I can't speak to the 20 years of what happened because we weren't a part of that. But
okay. And then you told me earlier that you guys are going to work with the DDA as well.
Yes.
Because the Downtown Development Authority, NJ, and these guys over there are Christina are pushing really hard to
So actually we have been a partner with way back when with the DDA. This group SLAM is in collaboration with Matter Brickell Academy. Matter is our sister network of schools, and I don't know if you guys know, Matter is in the financial district in downtown. When Matter Brickell opened, we actually worked with the DDA to bring that campus because there were at least 10,000 student stations that you needed schools in the downtown corridor. Yeah. You needed that. People were moving in, and they weren't finding the schools. So what charter schools can do is they can actually give priority to the residents, right, of that area, of that corridor. So we worked with the DDA back then for the opening of what is Matter Brickell now. Exactly. Matter Brickell and Matter Innovation Academy are a partner in this. So it would be a collaborative of our schools to bring this arts program at Olympia. Nice. So we actually have those partnerships in place. So we have a great relationship with the DDA, and their say has been that there's still a need for more student stations and more schools in that area.
And they also offer grants for.
And they offer
too,
so
they want to bring that.
They actually offer grants to different groups and cultural groups in the community in the arts. We were actually at their meeting last week. Where they voted in favor of supporting our proposal.
Right.
And we're working now. I have a meeting coming up with some of the groups that they sponsor, like Filmgate and some of these cultural groups who want to help work with us in activating the things that are going to happen at the theater. So we are going to work with a lot of their grantees.
Excellent.
I mean, listen, that whole... I don't know. We could be here till tomorrow talking about this, but I don't know why this is even an issue. I mean, but again, it's Miami and it is what it is, but we deal with it because I just it's common sense. I guess that's a new word that's going around now.
Well, you know what they say about common sense. You know what they say about common sense? It's not very common.
But at the end of the day, but it just depends on the people that are not, getting this because
you should be a city commissioner.
Again, no. Yeah, we've talked about that already.
I would vote for you.
No, please.
A lot of people would.
Anyway, my biggest thing is that how can even we get to this point is what I always say. Why have we gotten to the point that a place that was donated? I know that's not you guys, but that just, those are things that just kill me because a place that got donated to the city and then the city lets it go run down. And, when you see other stuff that are going on in the city and no shame to the city commissioners or whatever, because they're all friends of mine and all that stuff. But sometimes, they drop the ball on some of these things and you're looking at these things and saying, how can you let something like what Gusman Hall represents to the city of Miami? You're it's like saying right now that you let go of the Freedom Tower.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You let that go. What the Freedom Tower represents to the Cuban community. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, that theater is a staple also for all exiles and people that got here to
and I think that's why it's important. Like the partners in this initiative, including Miami-Dade College, that have been downtown and doing amazing work for decades, right? That's our goal, to keep this in use for the community. And I think 100%. That's what people need to really, really understand, that at the end of the day, that's what we're doing and that's what we're committing to doing. And, I can speak for, Armando and the group and what we represent is when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. Correct. And we're going to put out. And so I'm excited about what the future looks like.
By the way, could we count on the fact of maybe Pitt doing a concert there when that gets, destroyed? Think about the sense of the amount of people of the young, think about this. You have people that are always telling you, "Oh, go downtown, go downtown." Oh, I don't go to downtown. I don't go to downtown. People get tormented with downtown. So then I say, imagine where you can have something that now you can.
You want to be able to go downtown, and we want people to come downtown.
With the food halls,
the food hall,
and the DDA that work.
The Henry and Julia's, it's right across.
You're bringing all that into play.
Exactly. And by the way, I love living downtown, and I take the Metro Mover into. Actually, you can take the Metro Mover right in there, and it's very easy. So
access. Go ahead. What do we have? We have a comment?
Yeah. So
okay.
We posted about it.
All right. Okay.
And then I was looking to comments. That's why I asked you if
what's been the right.
So I'm going to the comments there, and there's a couple things here people said in person. That they keyboard warriors. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see here.
First one, please.
Let's see. Some of them are very nice. Some here.
Give us the ugly. We want the ugly.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
Once this is in the hands of private entity, this public facility will never become public again. How many historic buildings do we need to lose in order for Miami to understand that developers don't give about our history? Look at what happened to the Playhouse. Look at what happened to Ocean Drive. They will tear this down eventually and build luxury condos.
So again, misconception. I'm not a developer. SLAM is not a developer. We're a nonprofit entity. And we operate public schools, charters of public schools. So we operate for public use. So I think that's where people get a little bit confused.
Yeah,
we're not private. We're not for profit. We're a nonprofit entity. Actually, you can't manage a school in Florida as a for-profit.
And I don't think
it's a historic landmark.
And it's a historic landmark. So you can't really tear it down. If we did, let's go down that road. Right. If we did, number one, we'd be in violation of federal law at this point. So I don't. You don't want to go down that road, right? So that would be number one.
Listen, I shall show up there or something, okay?
Look at this oxymoron. Restore and preserve. This theater is such a gem. Should not be sold to SLAM for $10.
Again.
Right.
Is this on?
Yeah,
okay. I think what happens is people hear, but they don't want to listen. So you're always going to have the folks that doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, people.
That's the most expensive $10.
Correct.
We're ever going
That's
to pay.
crazy, man.
Yeah. But again, listen, we welcome all these. Because we're the first ones that put this out, and we want people to go ahead and respond to them. I mean, we have you there on record. Nobody's saying that SLAM's going to come and get that, and now you're going to turn around and you have it because you can't. You can't now.
And you can't sell it.
Now
you can't do anything.
Giving away the Olympia Theater, one of Miami's historic and cultural gems, to a politically connected for-profit charter school company is a scam and a shame.
Right. Again, it's illegal. There are no such thing as for-profit charter schools. Again, people don't know. People don't.
This is
understand
why the world is the world. This is why we did a day in Miami.
Well,
so
listen,
we can educate.
And you cannot complain. We ask the questions. People say we throw softballs and stuff. We ask the questions.
I can give a rat's ass what people think, but anyway, at the end of the day, it's our show.
That is true.
We ask our questions. Do your own podcast.
And not everything you read in the papers is true.
Not.
Look for sometimes people have to print retractions. Look for that. It's coming when they make a mistake.
The thing is on social media. No retraction.
But social media is social media. And again, this is why we decided to do this, by the way.
I appreciate you guys.
We decided
bringing clarity.
To bring clarity to different things because some people don't understand it. I mean, they would come and talk to us and, just because there's a little bit of political background, you would educate people. That's wrong. There's things that I learn every day. I mean, yesterday I was corrected with something else, that I thought was going to be happening in the state. And that person told me, no, you're wrong. That's not next year. That's in about 3 years. So again, you learn about something any day. And I think that I would know it. So again,
you're all knowing.
No, but I
No,
I do very seldom mistakes. At the end of the day, the good thing about this is that the clarity that you're bringing into this, and the fact of people knowing that if you guys take over this place, which I totally, me personally, endorse 100%, because I take anything away from the city.
And the goal is to activate it. Like nothing has been going on really. So at this point, doing nothing
the place
is going to. Actually,
100%.
You're going to go backwards.
Right.
So,
bring the Miami Film Festival.
That's coming. As a matter of fact, are you guys committing to doing the podcast to open the film? Because I used to do.
Only 100% exclusive to us.
You know,
well, we gotta
listen. I'm even considering putting a tent in Pan American old building for the vote of the day of the.
Considering. Okay.
I may just sit outside and with a microphone want to see who's going to vote against. You know,
I like that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I like that.
Something that is.
They'll get so much pushback.
I mean, it's just, again, I say in the Spanish.
But yeah, you can count on us for any type of support. That's not.
You guys are awesome.
I mean,
Thank
it's anything that has to do with the fact of that you're bringing. I always say the best rehabilitation that I can do, and we talked about this with the DDA here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest thing that downtown wants to bring people?
Let's energize and bring people
back in.
And
bring people back in. Number one, let's please finish Flagler, the construction.
Yeah.
Let's finish that construction. Let's start by that. You talked about the traffic study. I hope they're going to finish the street.
Do you know anything? Do you have an update on that or you don't want to deal with that?
No, I no me metan en.
No, you got too much on your plate.
No.
All right, so
I'll stick to my lane. I'll stick to my lane.
She's not going to get into the political sphere.
No.
Let her stay in slam.
So
okay. Well, listen.
Well,
before,
where's my?
No. We'll do that now. But
okay.
before we go, Eddie has his $100,000 question.
Yeah,
that he gets very, very excited.
Very excited. Well, it's actually.
Is it really $100,000 question? Because
it's not a question.
It's not a $10 question.
No, it's not a. I like her. She's good. She's good.
Well, yeah.
Listen, this question is presented by Toast Tab, your number one POS system in South Florida.
That's it. We have to do our plugs.
Yes. So, the hardest question, okay? You got to give us your top 3 restaurants, starting from 3 to 1. Okay?
I always try to suavize what he says top 3. I always say your go-tos.
Okay? My go-to, because top 3 is...
Top 3, however you want. 3 of them.
Stop with number
3, 2, 1, go with number 3, go.
Ooh, in order of
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
ready?
This is really hard.
Give us number 3 and the reason why.
Lo que te venga a la cabeza.
Jeez, number 3 and the reason why. Claw, because I live next door. I don't have to park anywhere, and it's a historic building. It's got a beautiful view. So
okay. You like
good happy hour? Good happy hour. I'll just go for happy hour.
Happy hour.
Okay.
No, because you can get clawed there.
You can get clawed. Yes.
The price of claw.
Just happy hour.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2, River Oyster in downtown.
I haven't been there. That's on Brickell, no?
No, that's downtown.
And
that's
downtown,
right in front of America.
It's very it's great, and it's been around forever. Before tobacco, it used to be next to Tobacco Road back in the day. I would have said Tobacco Road. No, I know.
Tobacco Road for me was I would do commission meetings, and in between,
I would say Tobacco Road if I could.
Road to have my.
Do you remember lobster?
Chicken.
Remember the lobster night that you would call to reserve your lobster?
You reserved the lobster with a beer, and I don't even a beer guy.
Anyway,
that's not around anymore.
No, Tobacco Road was one of the was it?
One of the oldest bar.
Oldest bar in Miami.
And that's why it's important to continue to preserve history because
I
look,
was very
we lost.
impressed. We did a huge party when they used to take.
How long ago was that? How long ago did it shut down?
This was a while back.
7 years ago, maybe before they built. Yeah.
That was probably during COVID then, or no before.
Before COVID,
yeah.
They were making plans.
So now,
let's go
number 1.
Numero uno.
That my go-to. I have to say Versailles because a cafecito.
Solid
my mom lives. I take her there for that's a.
Cuban roots.
That's a Cuban. That's a Cuban staple. So
number 1, I love it.
You gotta go, and if you want to know what's going on, you gotta go.
Shout out to the Versailles family.
Yeah, the owls are great.
As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken,
sorry, I didn't do that on purpose. It was just
just happened.
By the way, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw that Versailles was their anniversary or something like that. I don't know how many years they're open. So shout out to them and the whole family.
Yeah, I mean they're considered. globally, I suppose the number one Cuban food. Everybody goes.
It's a place too where everybody walks.
Listen, it looks like a historic landmark, right? So,
well, listen to me. This has been a great podcast, and I love these because, again, like we started, these are things that we want people to understand what's going on in the community and hear it from the sides,
the
not
people
the
in the front lines. The people in the front lines.
Correct. Because the news always reports just a little tidbit of what's going on. The news loves the fact of the chaos and the sense of this getting up. I'm going to hit you. Boom, and that's it.
Well, that sells, right? That sells.
The story doesn't. The story, unfortunately, gets buried, and people can't say the story.
That's a fast news cycle, too. So they talk about it today, and it's done by tomorrow.
So good luck. And
thank you. I look forward to you guys being part of it.
I can't wait to see if this passes.
Okay. I love it.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.